the Israeli Knesset had to evacuate into bunkers amid what was an Iranian and Hezbollah joint strike. The reason why this operation was so noteworthy was because Iran, for the first time, hit Israel and actually launched a solid fuel Sejul missile in a conflict. They also launched a Hormshar 4 super heavy missile with 2-ton warheads, Khaybar Shekan missiles, Qatar missiles, and Imad missiles. Trump keeps saying, we defeated Iran. We won the war. Everyone's seen it. He said it like now, as of this afternoon, 10 times since the war began. But I just want to read off a little interesting stat for all of you. We saw a headline from March 15th, yesterday. Iran has launched an attack on Israel every 90 minutes since the night of the 14th. Every 90 minutes, Iran launched an attack on Israel. Now, if you think that's crazy, especially considering Trump keeps saying that Iran is defeated, all their missile launchers are gone, all their missiles are depleted, right? If you think that's crazy, keep in mind that's just attacks on Israel. You know, then every one missile attack, one barrage every 90 minutes does not include the attacks on Dubai, on Bahrain, on Kuwait, on Saudi Arabia, on Qatar, on Jordan, right? It doesn't include the attacks also from that Hezbollah is launching and that Iraqi militants are launching. Yesterday, we saw that the Iraqi militias, the pro-Iran Iraqi militias, they launched one attack on U.S. bases and U.S. embassies and U.S.-backed entities in Iraq. One missile and drone attack each and every hour. We're going to be talking more about that in another story tonight. So what I'm saying here is that you're being lied to. This is a war based on lie after lie after lie after lie. The Israeli Compensation Fund, which is a government organization, said, we have received 11,000 compensation requests since the start of the war with Iran, including 7,648 for damage to buildings. So that means like your house gets blown up or you're a store owner, your store gets blown up. You go to the government compensation fund and say, hey, I need to be compensated because you guys and Trump started this war and now my property is damaged. We also saw this yesterday. The residence of the U.S. consulate in Israel was damaged in an Iranian attack. That's from Channel 12 Hebrew. Now let's get into the meat and potatoes. Oh, we also saw this. Iran struck a weapons manufacturing center and aerospace industry facility in Israel. That was from this morning. That was from like this afternoon, actually. But let's get into the meat and potatoes of what has actually gone on, okay? Because the Iron Dome has failed to report for duty day after day. It is missing. The Iron Dome is missing, just like Netanyahu. And, well, it's resulting in some pretty shocking videos. Okay, some pretty shocking videos. Tel Aviv has been hit very hard. All the corners of Tel Aviv have been hit very hard. That was 5:21 a.m. Tehran time on March 15th, yesterday. We saw tons of destruction to property, to government agencies, to intelligence headquarters. We even have seen lots of reports of attacks on the key Israeli military bases. But of course, we're not going to get any video from that. We're not going to get any photos from that besides the videos and photos we get of ambulances rushing to the scene. These bases all have, fire departments on hand, but in some cases we've seen videos of ambulances rushing to the scene because I guess there's been either so many injuries, so many casualties, or such serious ones that they have to be rushed to an outside hospital. Okay, so we see this. We see a lot of cars. You can see a car flipped over here, another car on fire. We see, and we want to be very clear for the YouTube community. Guidelines seem that we totally are not taking a side in this conflict, and we totally reject violence of any kind. We reject anything that is bad and mean and stuff. So we are not taking a side here. I'm just doing my job reporting. Iran made a direct hit on the Israeli police Lahav Unit 433 center in Tel Aviv. And this, by the way, for Trump saying like, oh, it's over. We defeated them. He said this 10 times now in different statements. The second attack, which I was showing you some photos from, and I'm about to show you more photos and videos from, that we saw yesterday, the second major attack. There was one in the morning, one that took place about midday in the afternoon hours. This was I believe it was Operation 53, Wave 53 of Operation True Promise 4. So since the war began, they have done, at this point, as of yesterday, it was, 3 p.m. Tehran time, 53 different missile barrage attacks in this war. Okay, they're working absolutely overtime, and I'll show you the video because it's actually very noteworthy. They drop these videos whenever they do a big operation, but the reason why this operation was so noteworthy was because Iran, for the first time, hit Israel and actually launched a solid fuel Sejul missile in a conflict. They also launched a Hormshar 4 super heavy missile with 2-ton warheads, Khaybar Shekan missiles, Qatar missiles, and Imad missiles. So they launched a 2-ton warheads. They launched a Sejul missile, and you're going to see this. And all I got to say is Kino. I mean, look, I want to be very clear. Again, we're totally not endorsing anything bad, anything. We're not endorsing any country, any belligerent in this conflict. But I mean, even Scorsese would probably appreciate this, It's just a crazy photo from a crazy conflict that never should have happened at all. This whole thing is ridiculous. People should not be dying for Netanyahu. But come on, Kino. Okay, so that was the firing of the Sejul missile, solid fuel Sejul missile. This is photos from that midday barrage in Tel Aviv, all across Tel Aviv. This was a crazy photo. That was from the third floor of a five-story building, which saw a major strike, and there was actually a giant crater outside of. You can see the crater right here outside the building. That is a massive. At first, I thought that was like a staircase going down, but that's actually just like a giant crater into the middle of the earth that is visible right there. So a lot of people came out and were witnessing, the damage of the attack and what had happened. That was at that same location. You can see there it is causing a lot of panic in the streets, and people cannot live their, daily routines and lives because of how many attacks there are. Again, just on Israel alone, there was one attack every 90 minutes yesterday, and that's just Israel. This attack took place at 11 o'clock a.m. Tehran time today, so now we're moving into some strikes from today. During a second strike of the day, around 1 p.m., the Israeli Knesset had to evacuate into bunkers amid what was an Iranian and Hezbollah joint strike. We were seeing a lot of these Iranian Hezbollah joint strikes with missiles and drones fired from both entities. Both Hezbollah and Iran, they fire more drones than missiles, but both do extensive damage. So this is the Israeli Knesset meeting being evacuated. And this right here is an actual, the results of a bunker that looks like it was hit. So that clearly, the bunkers, they don't have the same level of the same strength of cement that they do in Iran, because the bunkers are clearly penetrable. Again, we are not taking sides in this conflict. I just want to report on what is going on here. And, to be really clear, America would be in a much better position right now if, instead of launching this war and in the opening strike killing their leader and killing a bunch of schoolgirls and girls playing volleyball elsewhere, I mean, it's like, wouldn't we be in a better position if we just tried to have like good relations with all these countries? If we just bought their oil? If we said, hey guys, instead of spending trillions of dollars circling you with military bases, how about we engage in win-win cooperation and good business like China? right? These countries never hated us before there was Israel. Iran has been around as a civilization for 3,000 years, much longer than the United States, which is about to celebrate its 250th anniversary. And maybe, we have a thing or two to learn from these civilizations. Maybe it's not too wise to go to war halfway across the world against a country that has literally planned this all out for decades. And even in our own U.S. military Pentagon war game hypothetical, multi-million-dollar hypothetical drills that we run and a potential war against Iran back in 2002, the U.S. got cooked back in 2002 when we war gamed this conflict out with Iran. And Iran has only gotten far more powerful since then, far more powerful. So maybe, we shouldn't be at war. Maybe we shouldn't send Americans to go die for Netanyahu. Did anyone ever think about that? Like, has that ever been a thought that has crossed the minds of anyone in the Pentagon, anyone in the State Department, anyone in the CIA? I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Before you leave, I want to say thank you for the support, because after 2 years of being banned, we are finally back home on YouTube. So be sure to subscribe to our channel and also join as a member on our channel using the link at the top of the description. I rely on the generous support of viewers like yourself to get the truth out to as many people as possible. You can also support the show on Locals or Give Sin Go. The mainstream media and the powers that be are never going to stop attacking us for bringing the truth to as many people as we do. Thank you so much for your support.